What's up everyone, Alex here. Today I'm going to do a video on the Miyoo Mini Plus because OnionOS is now available. It's been available for a little while, but it's a great addition for the Miyoo Mini. I'm not too bothered with stock OS. I think it's perfectly fine, but everybody loves OnionOS and it's a great addition, so it's worth having. It's currently in beta, but it's pretty much all there and working as expected. You saw I had a custom boot logo at the beginning. Actually, I'll show you that this is something, I'll link it in the description in GitHub. It's called Logo Tweak, and I actually used this before even checking if it worked with this version, so I could have bricked my system for all I know, because it has to flash the new image, and you can pick a bunch or you can even make your own. And I made my PlayStation one because I used it for the little Miyoo Mini here, and it like went nicely with the theme of the Sakura retro modded buttons. And I don't know if I'm going to do any more modding to this Miyoo Mini. I really love this purple that I dyed. Someone lovingly called it the Pinot Grigio color. I called it dark cherry. They're both awesome. And I need to press menu to quit. I actually press start. So there's Logo Tweak there. So with OnionOS, you get a bunch of apps you can do things with. You pretty much start off with something called the Package Manager. And in the Package Manager, you can select which consoles you want to turn on. These are basically cores within RetroArch. There's a whole load of them to pick from. And you can go over to apps and select different apps to use. I've selected a bunch. Just some of them are handy. Game Switcher is one that's just sort of like, you know, it's tied to the menu button, so I don't need to turn that on. And, you know, Onion OTA update, sorry, this is going to be really handy because the Miyoo Mini Plus has wireless in it. And with the latest firmware and with OnionOS, you can use the wireless in your device to actually update this version of Onion without having to constantly take out your SD card and keep updating it. You can do it all wirelessly now, which is fantastic. And that's pretty much it for the apps here. Expert mode lets you choose some more cores, which are probably a bit more experimental or not all working, but for some games it might actually be handy. So for one example, Final Fantasy VI on the Game Boy Advance runs better in, I think by default it's MGBA, and it runs better in GGSP. I think it's something like that. Anyway, I'm going to back out of here now as I'm not making any changes, and we're just going to have a quick look at my Miyoo Mini. So the wireless hasn't come up yet. What will happen is in Wi-Fi here you can select to turn it on. It's currently scanning for my wireless, but once it's on, if I go to settings, it's going to show my IP address, which I do not want to do. So I haven't really selected any favorites, but I have a whole load of games on here now. So the consoles I have are MAME, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Genesis / Mega Drive, NES, Neo Geo Pocket, the Neo Geo Arcade, I guess that is. Pico 8 is something I started to look into because I thought, why not? This device can play lots of Pico 8 games, and I think I found like a giant zip full of these games. So one day I'm going to just sort of comb through them and see what I can get. I've absolutely filled this with PS1 games now. There's so many. What I'd like to do with this device is I'm going to play old favorites on it, which I already have. I've played a lot on here, and I would like to use this as a device as a way to just sort of try new and different games I've never seen before. Like I'm going to play Duke Nukem, these ones, Duke Nukem Time to Kill. Never played it. It actually seems quite fun to play on here, so that's one I'm going to give a go. And there's some other like ones I've never heard of before. This one's weird actually. Gun Gauge. I swear I bought this as a kid. I absolutely remember nothing about it apart from having a cool logo. It seems to be a third-person action game. Jumping Flash. I have no idea what these games are, but yeah, I want to use this as a way to play lots of different games I never did before. Compared to other consoles like the Retro Pocket 3 Plus, where you can play these on a wider screen with like updated graphics and stuff, I think that's a really awesome way to revisit some of your old favorites, and of course, you know, check out some new ones. But because this is so small and pocketable, I find it's just a really nice way of just checking out games I've never done before. Ports is really cool. So there's a page on the Onion GitHub which shows a lot of different ports that have been done. Not all of them are finished, so I haven't grabbed all of them. I couldn't believe that Streets of Rage Remake is on the Miyoo Mini. That's super, super cool. Absolutely grab that, because I think I couldn't actually get this on any other handheld except for, I think it was the Vita emulator, because there is a sort of like homebrew version of this, a port for the Vita. And now you can play it on the Miyoo Mini, which is awesome. I don't know who did that, but thank you very much. The original version of Cave Story, which I still have never played. And there's a couple of puzzle games. Zelda Picross or Picross does not work for some reason. I have to figure that out. And tons of SNES. I love SNES and Mega Drive are going to look beautiful on here. I will go into my game switcher in a moment, show some of these. Lots of Sega's Master System. This is a system I probably will not bother with. And I did curate this list, so these are all ROMs I collected myself. And I used to rename it to get rid of all the junk lettering, you know, the stuff in brackets and so on. And then we got TG16 PC Engine. So on OnionOS, I could not get Rondo of Blood to run. So I'm going to show you this function here. By pressing this button on the left, we can actually set some options per game. And in here, I have changed the core for this game to be something else. So all these other PC Engine games use a different PC Engine core, like Beetle Fast or something. And with this one, it now works. So I will test that for you now, so you can see. Because I don't think anybody else is. Yeah, and it's running. Because I 100%ed this on stock OS, because I've never properly played this version of this game. I've played the PSP version, but not this one, and I wanted to play it all, so I did. And I think it's really cool to have this game on the Miyoo Mini. Just like, I love this device. I love this device more than the original Miyoo Mini. After playing with this so much, this seems gimmicky, and I know I still love it, but now it just feels so small and maybe fantastic for a child. I can totally imagine that, but I feel like the Miyoo Mini Plus is like the fully realized and realistic version of the Miyoo Mini. Super good. So I'm just going to back out here to the games, PC Engine, and WonderSwan. And WonderSwan actually has a really fantastic version of Tetris. There's a really good version of Tetris, which blew my mind. I was like, I couldn't believe that. So I'm going to go into Game Switcher here, and you can see, if you've never used Game Switcher before, you can basically just pause your games and load back into them at any time. I'm not sure if you have, like, because you can get like 10 or even more games all like ready to go, but I think the more you have, the longer it takes for them to load back into the save state. This is Tetris on the WonderSwan. Just press select here, and that changes the rotation of the screen, but that's just for WonderSwan. There's lots of other cool shortcuts on the OnionOS, which I'll show in a different game, but this version of Tetris is really snappy, really cool. I'm not going to bother trying to playing it. It's easy to like hold pieces, and it's just really snappy and nice to play. I could see myself playing this a lot when I'm just out and about. Really good version of Tetris. So I'll go back to... So Rondo of Blood's actually a good example. If I hold the menu button and start, I can change the screen ratio. I think this is new to this version of Onion. So I can do that with any game, any console, and basically switch between some like pre-configured scaling options. So this is actually the accurate version, and this is stretched. So it's up to you how you feel about that. I don't mind stretched, but I think it will depend on the game. I'm going to leave it stretched for this one, although I probably won't play Rondo of Blood for any time soon since I've 100%ed it. We'll check, for example, Metal Gear Solid, PlayStation 1 game. These games fill the screen nicely, and I think if I do this and that, it barely changes. It's only stretched a little bit for the Miyoo Mini. But there are some other consoles which take the stretching a little further. Let's have a look at Demon Crest here. So you've got some different scaling options there. You've got like full stretched, and then you've got like for free but stretch the screen, and then you've got, I think that's a little bit more accurate, like not fully round the border. I've never actually finished or played Demon's Crest. I think I emulated it once a long time ago when I was younger and thought this is cool, but I never finished it. So this is one I absolutely intend to play. And you know, Game Switch is great, and there's some other stuff you can do here. I didn't know, for example, if you press up and down, you can do the brightness of the screen from here really simply. And I knew this because I made this Castlevania theme, and I had to make a little graphic here for that, which is neat. I tried to make it as much like Symphony of the Night as possible. And yeah, dude, I love this device. I'm having such a great time with it. Just a really good way of killing time. I recently just played the Shining Force on the Game Boy Advance because I never played that version. It was really fun. Thank God for fast forwarding because it would take forever otherwise. And before I finish, let's have a look at one other thing. I like this feature because when you've got like a lot of like weird games on your device, random games sounds like a great idea. So, it's found Uniracers on the SNES. Never actually played it, so I just pray. I pray that I like it, but I press A. It says could not communicate with Retro Achievements, so I have got it linked to Retro Achievements on RetroArch, but it's just not picking up my Wi-Fi for some reason. But it does work, and right here I'm gonna start riding Melissa as soon as I can. And wow, different tour. I remember seeing this game in magazines when I was a kid, and I thought, that looks cool, but why would I want to be a Uniracer? It's such a weird... Like, there's a team that said, we're gonna make a racing game, and you're gonna be a unicycle, and I don't know what's going on. Pull stunts to go faster. Oh, that's the brake. I don't know how. And then let's go. I won. Nice. And then if I just, when I'm done with that, I don't have to keep playing it. I can back out from here. I can press this button here. Do I want to remove it from my list? Sure. I never have to think about Uniracer again. So that's pretty much it. There's lots to look up with Onion. The GitHub is just a great resource. So, you know, it tells you all kind of things like shortcuts, what else you can do with the device. And obviously there is the Miyoo Mini Reddit. This is like the easiest way to find out about new updates and things because people constantly talk about the Miyoo Mini. I also seen a lot of people dyeing their Miyoo Minis now. And part of me would like to pretend that I kind of like helped start something, but that's just stupid because like dyeing stuff has been around forever. But seeing like new dyed Miyoo Minis are really cool. Sakura Retro Modding is also doing the sticker of the PlayStation layout on the Miyoo Mini Plus. But if you want to get the buttons, I mean, they're exactly the same buttons, so it's not like you have to make them again. So you can get new stickers for this soon. I'm not planning to do it. I really like my dark cherry purple thing. Curse my fingers for being always oily. I always have to keep kind of like wiping it down, and but no, I love this thing. I kind of tempted to get the Ambonic, is it RGX355? It's basically what this is, but more available and slightly bigger. And Sakura Retro Modding, there's some really cool stickers for that, which I really like the look of. Every time I see those stickers, it makes me want to buy that device. But no, I'm going to stick with this. Very soon, I'm going to be doing videos on the Retro Pocket Flip. Mine hasn't been dispatched yet, but it's going to be coming maybe within the next 2 weeks. So I'll be doing a video on the Flip. Eventually, there'll be a video on the Loki. We still really know nothing, and it's supposedly meant to be shipping in May, but we know nothing yet. I mean, they're posting some videos on their YouTube, but that's pretty much it. And as you can see from these guys, I have had my DSs out. I recently got the DSi, which is the regular one, and the DSi XL. And I did a video on the XL recently, which I absolutely love, and I'm so happy I got one. The DSi is cool. I got this recently because I got it cheap. It was about £40. And honestly, the condition of it is really fantastic, although I seem to have spilt something there. I can get rid of that. The only marks I can really find is like this bit here, and I really think I've spilt a drink on it. I think something splashed. But there's like these marks here, and for some reason it didn't come with a serial number, and the little rubber things that cover the screws are gone for some reason. But apart from that perfect condition, I just had to buy a new stylus because I think the original belonged to a kid and he seemed to like to chew it. Thank you, kid. But that's really cool. So I'm really loving playing the DS lately. These are my two go-to things now. So I play a bunch of I am actually playing Nintendogs. I don't know why. It's just been so long. I'm enjoying looking after little Tyson here. He's a good boy. So I've been playing that the Castlevanias I want to play, and I think there's something else I want to play on there, and I can't remember what it is. Chrono Trigger. I've never played DS Chrono Trigger, and I hear that's the best way to play it, I think. But yeah, Miyoo Mini is fantastic. Try and get one if you can. It's great value for money and just a really great experience. And that's my video today. So thank you very much for liking. Please give it a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.